definitely a love song that represents a love story. Where the script is, I don't know, but the script is in the melodic movement and arrangement of the song. We can call that the script, I guess. Love, Sweet or More. Well, you know, titles for me in songs has always been very difficult, but there was something for me that was very romantic about this, about the tonal quality, about the color, about the way that the intervals were moving. They were very soft, very warm, but at the same token, very intense. And I find that in most relationships, you can go through those different types of phases in a relationship. And for some reason, I just felt love, and love sweet. Again, for me, kind of represents the different moods or the different transitions of a relationship. You know, a suite. You know, a suite is a place that's supposed to be the most elegant, romantic place you could want to be, especially if you're with someone that you care much about emotionally and psychologically. So, Love, Sweet or More. It came naturally. You know, I didn't work real hard at it. You know, and that's the title that I came up with, and motivated again by the way that the song itself was moving rhythmically, and the colors and intervals, that sort of thing. The bow movement at first was very warm, very flowing, nice choice of notes, and it kind of sings, you know, give you that light kind of romantic feel. And then I went into what I believe I felt was some nice pizzicato movement, which represented another phase of how, you know, relationships can be. And the flamenco thing, well, I happen to love Spanish flamenco music, and to me that's almost like one of the epitomes of that intenseness, that intense love, emotional thing that the Spanish carry, you know, in their culture. I look at it as my voice, like we all have a certain way of speaking. The tone, the color, the rhythm, whether we use our hands. It's more of my style. I tend to be very passionate, which sometimes can be confused with very aggressive. And I'm sure that I am in certain aspects of whatever's happening creatively in the music at that time. But I see my voice as a very passionate voice, and it comes out in my playing, the way that I choose to play, the way that I choose to approach this instrument. But at the same token, it being the string instrument that it is, and having that warmth and that sensitivity, I've worked very hard in combining those two elements together to express myself on my instrument. So that you may call that my style. I really call it my voice, my personal creative voice. So after the clarinet, it was a couple of years, and I decided I wanted to play another instrument. I went to my dad, who was a trumpeter at the time, now deceased, but he was a trumpeter at the time of his own big band, and expressed that I wanted to play this big bass that I saw on television on, I think it was the Ed Sullivan show. I saw this guy carrying on stage. And my dad encouraged me to play something, I guess, smaller, like the guitar. But when I got to high school, there was this bass there, and I spoke with the musical director, band director at the time, Mr. Dr. Thomas H. Delane, and he brought out the bass and showed me how to play a B-flat scale, and that was it. And I fell in love I've been in love ever since. Well, that's an interesting thought. Which do I prefer, acoustic or electric? Well, I have to say that if someone were to give me a final choice, it would definitely be acoustic bass. However, I started playing electric at a very late age, and didn't have much of a passion for it. But as the instrument itself started to grow in popularity, and so many great musicians started being seen and recognized on that instrument, I realized that I had to give the credit that it was due, and I needed to allow it its artistic value also, which caused me to put more mental time into it artistically, and discovered a lot of beautiful things about the electric bass guitar that I have to say that I see it as another another part of my vocabulary, again, going back to my artistic voice, that I use to speak creatively. Two people. Jimmy Garrison, of course John Coltrane, because that's how I got to hear Jimmy Garrison. I was very impressed with the great freedom that Coltrane had in his improvisational approach to his composition, but at the same time they sounded very structured at the same time. So from listening to him and getting involved with the other musicians in that chord that he created for his personal musical expression of his compositions, of course I heard Jimmy Garrison. And it was this famous solo that Garrison did on My Favorite Things, I believe it was. And that's when I first heard the flamingo approach. And just that overall solo piece, it touched me. It was the beginning for me. It opened my spirit, the door of my spirit of attraction to the instrument in the music. So I would have to say Jimmy Garrison was my first inspirational. After that was Miles, and I know it's very popular and probably very cool and very hip to say Miles, but I say Miles very truthfully and very honestly. It was just something about his sound, his energy, and the way that he chose to put certain musicians together was inspiring to me as well, as a bassist and just as a musician overall. Well, what I go for now in my sound and what I'm looking to do with it and what I would like for it to do, ultimately, man, I just basically want to write, compose, and present just good music. I believe it was Duke Ellington who once said there's only two kinds of music, good and bad. That's just so profound because that's the essence of any art form. So that's where I would like for it to go. I really would like for it to be able to present it to a wide audience and find an audience of people that feel good about it, that it does something for them, does something for the quality of their day or the quality of that moment that they're there with me, listening to it or observing the performance.